Hi, I'm Leon Lovelace, and this is Unstoppable Force. Okay, when I was trying to capture my earlier video was that the only windows, I had several windows open looking up a whole bunch of different stuff about Obama's ties to Wall Street firms and how he didn't regulate them enough, and why I think the deep state was behind them trying to cover up a little bit of Obama's corruption and just the corruptive system that we have right now. Because those were the only windows that crashed, were the ones where I was looking up Northern Trust Corporation and just trying to dig up and see what was going on with Northern Trust and if they gave Obama any paid speeches, something like that. Because actually they did give him a paid speech, but I was actually trying to look to see if the Obama administration did anything specific to having to like that corporation calling up the Obama administration to say, hey, don't regulate us as much, something like that. I didn't really find that article yet. Well, maybe there is one about that. But I had other windows up, just a couple windows up, and those didn't crash. I just had one on eBay and one on Jimmy Dore's show on YouTube. Those ones didn't crash, and one on The Guardian. It was just the Guardian homepage. Of course, those ones don't crash. Only the ones where I'm looking up corruption, the other ones that crash. So what I might try to do is I might try to switch to when I'm trying to look up my news stories, just go on a secure web browser where the government can't really. I'm hoping that the government can't crash any of my windows, allegedly, because of course I don't know for sure that this is what's happening. I just know it's pretty suspicious because it's happened. Oh, and of course it crashes again right now. Of course it's the same ones, just the ones I refreshed. They just crashed. Because even this one crashed. Because this one isn't as important as the other ones, but still shows you that Northern Trust isn't working for their shareholders' best interest. Because the Northern Trust Corporation beat back the shareholder proposal that would have required the Chicago-based company to update its stockholders semi-annually about lobbying and political spending. Northern Trust and the Securities and Exchange Commission filing Friday said it received 126.1 million votes against the proposal and 49.8 million for it. The proposal was made by the Massachusetts Laborers Pension Fund, which owns about 400 Northern Trust common shares. Because the Burlington, Mass-based fund wanted Northern Trust to provide a report updated semi-annually disclosing amounts that the company has spent in lobbying or contributed to political candidates or parties. But the board recommended voting against the proposal, saying they already do that, and the Fed already requires that. The FEC already requires that. So it's a lot more votes went against that proposal versus for it. So they're just showing that, or Northern Trust Corporation is just showing that they want to hide as much of the corruptive influence they're having on our political system, and they want to make an excuse about, oh, it's going to cost too much money, or we're not spend too many resources just sharing the information that we're about what we're doing one more time a year. So that's just a little tidbit. But the meat of the story is that once again, the former president Barack Obama is getting a whole bunch of other more paid speeches to Wall Street firms. Okay, because Obama made approximately $400,000 speaking to clients of Northern Trust Corp last month, Bloomberg reported on Monday. He also spoke with Carlyle Group LP last week and is slated to be keynote speaker at a Cantor Fitzgerald LP's conference on healthcare next week. And then Obama received criticism earlier this year after it was reported that he would speak at Cantor Fitzgerald's health conference for a fee of $400,000. Okay, and of course he's getting paid not because he's a wonderful speaker and he could just really motivate a lot of those people that are going to listen to him, but because that's for services rendered, that he didn't regulate their ass, he didn't send anybody to fucking jail from those firms, so they're gonna pay him. And they're gonna pay him handsomely. And once again, these tabs crash. So it is just no doubt in my mind. I don't want to talk too much about the Carlyle Group because Jimmy Dore did a great video about that, but he did give a speech, or he's going to give a speech to the Carlyle Group. But back in 2013, Carlyle, working in tandem with Delta Airlines, which also owns a refinery, met with Obama's economic advisor, Ronald Minsk, and an EPA official. Sorry about that. And signed a letter to the EPA with Delta and a refinery union leader as part of an effort to lobby the agency to relax its steadily rising requirements for mixing biofuels and petroleum-based fuels as part of the Renewable Fuel Standard program, Reuters reported in 2014. So that's what he did. Just deregulated some of the EPA and some of these other laws and some of these rules, so these corporations can make a shitload of money, and now they're paying them for it. So this is some of the neoliberal bullshit that we're fucking tired of. Because I also got an article from Bloomberg.com, and it talks about how Obama's Justice Department prosecuted.
Hillary said in her book that, oops, I kind of did.
Oh my gosh, they're crashing again. But Obama's Justice Department prosecuted no major bankers for the roles in the financial crisis, and it resisted calls to break up the biggest banks, signing a regulatory overhaul that annoyed them with new rules, but didn't stop them from pulling in record profits. And of course, they didn't also stop them from becoming bigger. So they were already too big in 2008 when they collapsed. Now they're even bigger now. So that only guarantees they're going to collapse again. And we're going to have another economic recession. And all the wealthy people are just going to get wealthier after the next recession. There's going to be even more poverty and more injustice going on.